All right, week two in the books. Great team effort in all three phases. What we talked about all week was we talked about, our identity and our standards, that we needed to live up to both of those and make a statement with our identity and our statement and our standards. And I thought offensively we did that, got back to the run game, mixing it up well. The guys up front played great. Jonathan Taylor having a 100-yard game, that was big. Jordan Wilkins came in, ran the ball well, but really a lot of the credit goes up front. Those guys played great. Defensively, I don't know if you can play much better than we played defensively. That was an explosive offense. We were good for 60 minutes. You could feel it the whole game. Our defense kept the pressure on them. We stopped the run. We got turnovers. We made the statement we wanted to make defensively. And then special teams was great all day. Rod, congratulations to him. Had a great game going 4 for 4. That's what we wanted to see today. That's the kind of game we expected. And so just proud of the team, the way we responded after last week. Just a couple of injury updates. Rock had a stomach illness prior to the game. He's being evaluated at a local hospital. Paris, as we saw, had the knee injury. So we'll see how that comes out. Matt Adams had the ankle and was out. Malik had the Achilles, and Xavier got cramps. So I'll open it up to questions.
All right, Phil B.
Yeah, Coach, I asked you Friday about having a plan, and then with you stick with, can you hear me?
Hold on one second, Phil.
Hang on, Phil.
Okay, you got it.
Try it again, Phil.
Yeah, I asked you Friday about going into games with a plan, and obviously you wanted to reestablish the run today. Did you think you'd stick with Taylor as long as you did? Was it a matter of going with a hot hand?
Yeah, the plan was to feature Jonathan, and he was running hard and running good. So just felt like we had good rhythm. He was seeing it well. Obviously, the line was getting movement on the line of scrimmage. So the plan was to feature him and then complement as needed.
Frank, did you guys make a concerted effort to get the defensive backs more up on the line of scrimmage against the Vikings this week?
I thought Flus and his defensive staff did a great job overall of scheming to stop their run game. We know the Vikings have one of the best run games in the NFL. They're a dangerous team in the run. As I mentioned early in the week, Gary Kubiak and Rick Dennison are among the best in the league as far as that. So credit to Flus and the staff. It wasn't just that. It was a whole scheme of things. But really, scheme is only the minor part of it. And the defensive staff deserves credit for that. But it's really the players. The players just came and they played with discipline. They played aggressive. We did everything on defense as a unit that you needed to do to stop an explosive run game.
Mike Chappell.
Yeah, Frank, you touched on a little bit in your opening, but isn't this sort of how you want this to go? I realize there's changes from week to week, but let the offensive line dictate and have the defense be all over the place, and then have special teams do its job. Nothing special, but just all around asserting yourself.
Yeah, there's no question that this is a blueprint to what we want to look like. Defensively, as I said, we played such a good game on defense. I can't say enough about how they played and how how the defensive staff coached it and how we played it. So a credit to them. And then on offense, we wanted to reestablish the run. We still need to clean some things up on offense. We need to be better on third down and better in the red zone. So we want to be a great situational team. I have to say that if there's one thing that we could add to that would be, just be a little bit better in situational football and offense. But overall, it was really, really solid in all three areas.
Stephen Holder.
Hi, Frank. Two related questions. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. First, Mo Alie-Cox, if you could just speak to just his development as a receiver. We've seen him develop as a blocker. And then furthermore, just the way your depth played a big role for you today. You talked about the injuries and we know who was missing. What about the way those guys filled in for you?
Yeah, no, we did a great job. And as you said with Mo Alie-Cox, I give Chris Ballard a lot of credit. I remember when I first got here, him telling me about this former basketball player that we had at tight end that he really thought was going to develop into a big-time player in this league. And we've just seen that. It's been a gradual development with Mo, and really the credit is to Mo. He works so hard. It's so important to him. He's physically and mentally tough, and he's just continued to get better. And you know, it was obvious this week, you know, when with Jack down, you know, that being a big blow, you know, Philip let us know right away. He let me and Nick know right away how much confidence he has in Mo, and that, you know, not hold anything back. You know, that Philip likes throwing to those big targets. You know, used to doing it to receivers, but you could see how quickly he got used to Mo, you know, just throwing to that big target. What else can you say? Mo's a big man and a great competitor. So hats off to him. And then, you know, depth wise, we did a good job. You know, Noah came in, had to play a lot of plays that I don't know the play count, and I haven't watched the film, but it had to be good, given the way we ran the ball. And then, you know, we had to step up on defense with Rock down and then Hook getting hurt. You know, step up in special teams. Matt Adamer, who's a key special teams player for us, gets hurt. And so I thought our guys at depth showed well today.
George Brummer?
Coach, you've been talking about Julian Blackman quite a bit throughout training camp. How tough is it for a rookie coming off the injury he's coming off of in the time frame that he had to get ready to come in and be around the ball as much as he was in the first half today?
Yeah, he was all around the ball, you said, George. I mean, just from my eye watching the game, he played great. He made the one play on the cover two down the middle. That looks like that's going to be a big play for their offense. And he breaks it up, gets his head and hat on the ball. You could just, those are the instincts that we saw on film. Know that that's the player that he's going to be. However, he just deserves so much credit because, number one, physically what he had to come back from. Number two, just mentally staying ready. You know, he was on, you know, he couldn't practice for so long. And, you know, he wasn't even able to participate in walkthroughs because of how we had him designated. So just a credit to him staying in it mentally. And then you could just tell the competitor in him just showed up today on game day.
Wish TV?
Coach, I know you touched on the depth, but I wanted you to comment on your rookie group as a whole and in every phase of the game. Jonathan, Julian, Rodrigo on special teams, everything that they were able to do.
Yeah, it's big. I mean, you know, when you can have rookies step in and produce like this in game two with no off season, you know, with no preseason games, it's a credit to those players, you know, and credit to Chris and the scouts for, you know, getting us the kind of players that can make that transition this quickly. You know, was really happy with, you know, the plays Michael Pittman made. I mean, not just the couple key plays that he made, but just how he made them. Some things that we've talked about and some things that he's been working on that really just showed up today. And I just think the arrow is really up for him and all our young guys. And just hats off to them today for sure.
Kevin Bowen?
Hey, Frank, I know you think really highly of Paris, and we're out there looking at him. Any word on the severity of that?
No word yet, Kevin. But man, it hurts. I mean, I'm hoping for the best. But you know, you saw it. It didn't look good. I'll be honest with you. Happened right in front of me. It did not look good. But hoping and praying for the best. I love Paris. I mean, and so for 2 weeks and back-to-back weeks to have Marlon and Paris, you know, go down like this, and we don't know the extent of Paris's injury yet. So I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but these are two great football players and two class acts, two great teammates. These guys are the best, and so we're hoping for the best for Paris. We'll have to wait and see.